and street by street.
Is my leader, my boss, and a senior brother. If he anything, I'll attend. Aspiring does not say I should not keep my relationship that is very cordial and everything. I'm aspiring. Remember, I always say, Atiku is in fire. He believes in Nigeria. He's a good man.
Look here.
If you don't take time, 2023 election, everybody go regret time. If they pay me say just now, Lekki massacre don't turn to news we don't pass. Everybody don't forget people with their key. People will bullet shop their hands. The ones who lost leg and the people they suffer pain still now as I talk to you. 28th of October 2020 na day we will not supposed forget. Youth they protest SARS. Now that one makes security operatives tear gas. Some lab bitter will not be joke. That particular day make many people use WeChat today. That particular day make many mama and papa to so ground with hot tears. As I talk to you, some families never feel recovered from their loved ones when no return.
Wicked leaders, wicked people. At the peaceful protesting, like you guys are shooting randomly. Regardless of what the bullets hit or not.
Atiku is my leader, my boss, and a senior brother. If he invites me for anything, I'll attend. Aspiring does not say I should not.
Good evening, my fellow Biafrans all over the world. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are watching from. I thank you today for this wonderful day again, even though we are coming late. This is a special broadcast today, the 16th day of 2022. I welcome you once again to yet another wonderful evening. Let us have a commercial.
But there is one thing I want all of us to understand this very evening. We are facing a very formidable array of enemies, both external and within. And we are going to overcome each and every one of these obstacles. That I can assure you, that they may know that the God we worship is an invisible God, not a God that was wrought by the hands of men. For we do not worship idol, and we can never ever worship idol. Is impossible. This very family, this IPOB, belongs to the Most High. And that is how it's going to be until Biafra comes and beyond to eternity. This evening, I want to place it on record that our enemies are intensifying their attack against us from every corner. I am not saying this as lamentation or complaint. I am only trying to prepare our people for what is to come. You are being prepared for what is to come. The time has come to separate the chaff from the wheat itself. Our march is very, very near. The enemies are trembling, they are quaking, they are doing all they can to try to stop us. But they have failed very woefully, and they will continue to fail. But I want to tell you that we are getting attacks from everywhere all over the world. And very soon, they will buy over some of you. They will buy some of you over. The spirit of Ekpa, Biasika, and Ifajuna are still in some of you. When the time comes, they will buy you over. I am not doing this program tonight to ask all of you to be strong. I am doing it to remind you, not that if they succeed in buying you over, you're not going to stop what we're doing. You can't. You cannot. Not in a trillion years. But I need you to appreciate one very simple fact. That at the end of this very race, everybody will testify that indeed Chukwukika Abiyama, the same God of Israel, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the same God of Ehiri in Aguleri, the same God of Umweri, the same God of Ora-Eri, the same God of Owe-Eri, the same God of Arochukwu. Not if you know about the true God, one true God. You will know that indeed, not only is he omnipotent, that same God is the owner of this very agitation. No human being can stop it. We have enemies, and we need to be very, very careful, both within and without. Very, very careful. The next 2 weeks will be very pivotal. Next 2 weeks will be very, very important in the life, or should I say, in this very mission that we have embarked upon. The devil will do everything. And you are going to watch spectacularly how we are going to destroy and shame the enemy. That at the end, every glory and adoration will belong to God and not to man. Now let us go and tell you what is happening that some of you do not understand. I want those of you who are hardcore, those who we are chosen before you were born. There were some people who were chosen before they were born to agitate for Biafra restoration. This is a message for you. Those who from their mother's womb they were born to do this very work. You must be very, very strong. Because Biafra will open the eyes of black people all over the world. Because Biafra will mean that blacks from America, blacks from the Caribbean, from Southern America, they will all flood into Africa. It will be like the time that Yeshua was born. Biafra is like a light, a beacon. They will follow it. They will say, let us go and see what is happening there. That is what these no-colonialists do not want. They don't want Biafra to come. I am telling our people so they understand. The mountains, I didn't say one mountain, the mountains in front of us that we need to overcome. And for us to overcome it, we need to be very strong mentally, mental strength. Just like when you're doing anything in life, and it appears as if you are being buffeted from everywhere. That is the time that you no longer rely on willpower or your muscles. You go to your brain to endure and to persevere and to keep going until you overcome. That is the stage we are in right now. To make sure that our brain is in gear to confront everything the Janjaweed has to throw at us. We don't have money. Their budget is over $20 billion to fight us. They can bribe Facebook. They can buy them off. They can do anything they like. They can come to some of you and bribe you off. They can promise you what you've never had before. They can give you maybe a house in Dubai. They can promise you a vehicle. They can tell you, oh, we'll make you vice president. They can promise you anything to make sure that you're like them. But this very IPOB, this very hardcore is not going to move. And I will tell you why we can't move.
Welcome back, welcome back. IPOB autopilot worldwide. Woto is the code. IPOB autopilot worldwide. Woto is the code. IPOB autopiloted liberation movement for the restoration of Biafra. Woto is the code. I want to thank you today that we are making progress. We are making progress, and we are indeed making progress. The reason I have come this evening is to inform Biafrans that nothing, absolutely nothing have changed. Absolutely nothing have changed. The court have ordered the release, of course, unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, our leader. And since the order was given till today, the 16th day of October 2022, the terrorist government of Nigeria is yet to free and release him. And so, the time we gave them to release him elapsed and end today. Biafrans are going to speak in a language they will not understand. I want you to understand that we are fighting for our freedom, and we are going to fight anyhow. Anyhow, I will tell anything that we have. We were also told that they are going to let our leader go. We are not agitating for the freedom of our leader on credit. We've made it very clear from the day one, what we are doing is cash and carry. Money for hand, back for ground. We are not interested in speeches. We are not interested in articles. What we are interested is until Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes out as a free man. So long as the Nigerian state have not respected their own court, have not respected their own decision, we are not changing anything. So for this reason, tomorrow still there will be sit at home in entire Biafra land. The Monday sit at home has not been cancelled. The Monday sit at home will be increased in the volume and the compliance. And of course, as the ultimatum given have ended today, they will hear from us. I want to use this opportunity to tell every Biafran, especially those who are part of this movement, what we are doing, to be very, very vigilant. We have entered a very dangerous stage of this agitation and the liberation of Biafra. We want all of you to be alive. We want all of you to see Biafra next year. Your movement movement and activities from now matters a lot. Watch your environment. Pay attention to your environment. Watch your movement. And trust nobody. Inasmuch as I ask you today to trust nobody, you must all have trust with those who walk very closely with you. You must be your comrade keeper, your brother's keeper. You watch each other's back. You will benefit nothing by betraying your own brother. If you, at this particular point in time, you have not seen the coming of Biafra by 2023, you need to wake up. You need to wake up if by this time you have not seen that Biafra is indeed coming in 2023 and the Biafra is already here. I want you to understand there is nothing in this life that is going to stop the restoration of Biafra in 2023. And at the same time, we have entered a very, very delicate time. And that is why it is very important that you are going to be very, very security conscious. The Nigeria terrorist state are doing everything to crush Biafra. And we are not saying that it is a surprise to us. We are not saying that we are not aware of that. It is part of the game. Do not give yourself very easily and very cheap to the enemies. Always listen to instructions. If you feel that your telephone number has been compromised, I order you this evening to change your number with immediate effect. Those of you that your telephone numbers has been compromised, and your telephone number is in the hand of those who are ready to do anything to betray Biafra, claiming that over their dead body will Simon Ekpa, according to them, bring Biafra. For this reason, they have chosen to give your information away to the enemies. Because to you, it does not matter. To you, you have decided that the work and the legacy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will never be allowed to disappear and destroyed by the betrayers of this movement. So this evening, if what I am saying touches you and you feel that this message may be directed to you today, and you feel your number has been compromised, and that the people those people that you are suspecting of giving information to the Nigeria state just to crush whatever the part you are playing for Biafra to come next year, have given information to the state to track you and abduct you and kidnap you and kill you. You better from tonight deactivate your number. We want you to be part of those that will see Biafra in 2023. We know they are going to kill us. We are going to kill them too, for self-defense. And at the end, Biafra will come. But do not give yourself very cheap to the enemies. Do not, out of ignorance that nothing will happen, they are not going to do me anything, give yourself very cheap to the enemies. Some of you are going to be in the hand of the enemy for just ignoring this particular advice I am giving to you today. And I pray that you will not be in the hand of the enemies. Now listen very, very attentively. If you know that your number has been compromised, you change your number, deactivate your number, save those contacts that you know, that you trusted, and those you feel that you want to continue to keep communication with. When you deactivate your number and get a new number, let those you trust be the only one that you communicate with your new number between now and February 2023. Very important. You need to take a very decisive decision. You need to take a very, very difficult step. The time has come you make a very difficult decision. For the next 140 days will be the most difficult days in the entire history of Biafra's struggle. You must survive these 140 days at all costs. And those of you who the enemies are using to hunt your fellow Biafrans, to hunt your fellow agitators, the time has come that the spirit of Biafra possesses you. From tonight, as we end the ultimatum to free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the court, the shenanigan court ordered, it is the time from tonight you become very, very security conscious. If you know that you are part of this particular movement and you have something to offer, adhere to this advice and this announcement I am giving this evening. We need you, and we need you like never before from tonight to the next 140 days. We are now counting the days, and of course, when some of them will be laughing and mocking at us, they will be mocking us that Biafra, they are laughing at us when we told them that Biafra is coming in 2023. They laugh at us, they say, Obi this, Obi that. I want you to understand that you can never redeem, you can never salvage Nigeria. From tonight, as we end this ultimatum that we gave to the Fulani terrorist government, as we end this ultimatum that we gave to them tonight, I want you to understand that we need you. You are very, very important to this Biafra movement. Your contribution to this movement is now we need it more than ever before. I want to use this opportunity to thank parents and the Biafra youth that participated yesterday during the first ever Biafra Youth ESN fundraising. The world have seen that the Biafra youth are now aware. They have shown how desperate they are for the freedom, and we will continue to make our children to know how important it is for them to have their freedom and their future secured. Yesterday, the Biafra kids, Biafra youth, they demonstrated their love, their craviness, as they crave to get their freedom and their future secured. It goes to show that we have done a very good job as we continue to keep the fire burning. I want you also to understand that those who want to fight against Biafra from emerging as a nation in 2023 are not going to rest. As we are planning, they are planning. As we are planning, they are planning. As we are using their own employees against them, they are also using some sellout money mongers and betrayals among us against us. And so we are not worried, because the way they use those with us is the same way we use those with them against them. It is 50-50. But I'm going to tell you that we will be more smart, and we have always outsmarted them. And that is why it is very important that you watch around yourself. You watch those you have dealings with. And any time you suspect anything, don't give it a second thought. You make a decisive decision until you confirm whether that particular thing you suspect is real, truth, or not. We are not going to allow ignorance to make us lose anybody. And so this evening, I want to also thank the IPOB Autopilot media team. When I talk about media team, I talk about all of you that are on social media. Some of you have been blackmailed, accused, and some of you, they are still planning how to blackmail you. But I want you to understand that the blackmailing is part of this particular dirty freedom fighting. Some of you have now disagreement with your old friends. Some of you are no longer talking with your friends because of one blackmailing and propaganda. I want you to understand that it is part of this dirty freedom fighting. You need to develop and create a new file in your heart where you are going to be putting those whom you feel somehow have disappointed you as we continue the journey from today. Those of them that have betrayed you personally, but they are still having something to do with the majority of those in autopilot. Create a file in your heart and put them in that file and watch them with one eye, and let us move on from this evening for the next 140 days. Those of them and those of you that will also be disappointed by the activities of those that you looked up to, you must create a file in your heart. Put them in that file and watch them with your one eye as we sail through the next 140 days. These 140 days will be the most important days in your entire Biafra struggle. How you manage these days will determine whether your input for the past years you have been part of the Biafra struggle is for positive or for negative. It does not matter your contribution in the past. It does not matter what you have done in the past. If you did not hang on to run this race up to the next 140 days, every of your effort in the past will become a waste on your side. If you are committed before, for you to sustain this commitment, you need to have another extra 20% to add to what you have done in the past. I want to tell you this story. In this Biafra freedom in 2023, from this night, we are now in the last phase of the marathon race. The marathon race is not always those who started leading the race will win. It's not always those who started leading the race will end to the finishing line. Everything you see today happening is divine. And those who have programmed this particular struggle to be what it is today will see how the programmed autopilot is going to lead Biafra to freedom. Under the leadership and spiritual supervision of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I want you all to understand from today, our leader will continue to be the head of Biafra movement. Whether in his present, whether in his absent. And of course, we know when to take order from him and when not to take order from him. And everything we do today is for the best interest of Biafra and of course, for the best interest of his sacrifice. If anybody is telling you that Simon Ekpa and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will give up on Biafra, ignore them, because they never know how prepared we are. Today, I can announce to Biafrans for the very first time that nations, countries, are now interested. We are now engaging countries that are interested in Biafra. And some of them have given their green light. It is going to shock many people, because they will never believe. But I can assure you this evening that countries are now engaging Biafrans. And this is the greatest news in my entire life. That now, as the day goes by, our strength is increasing. So do not think that what we are doing, that we are alone. We are not alone. Many countries are now showing interest. And whoever we go to, it becomes confidential until the right time. That is why sometimes I look at what is going on, I say the things of the Spirit. People may never understand it. I am not here to entice anybody. But what I have to say this evening is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the only person that Simon Ekpa will listen to. And at the same time, I assure Biafrans can assure Biafrans, when you hear me say this, don't worry. Because the spirit of Biafra is the one leading this movement. I did not join Biafra movement for a better Nigeria. I did not join Biafra movement for Igbo president. I did not join Biafra movement because Igbos are being marginalized. I did not join Biafra movement because of Igbo. I joined Biafra movement because one is that our people have and they deserve to live. Two is that I want to be part of those who will make history of bringing one of the best nations in the world. Three is that I want to be part of those who will secure the life and future of one of the most smart, brilliant nation in the world. I want my name to be in the history book for good. I've always said it. Whatever you do in this life, let your hand be clean. Those who are always living with lies and propaganda will not stand the test of time. If you have built your life and build agitation of Biafra in lies and propaganda, what you do in Biafra struggle is to sell lies and propaganda, you will never be strong in Biafra struggle until Biafra comes. Your lifespan in the Biafra movement is very limited. The only time you are going to make impact, and your impact will be felt in the Biafra liberation, is you build your life on truth. Diligent. Always stand by the truth. It does not matter what happened to you. It does not matter how they blackmail you. It does not matter how they attack you. At the end, you are going to win. I want you to understand that lies only last for a while. You need a lie to cover a lie. You need another lie to cover another lie. You need another lie to be able to cover another lie. And at a point, you may not know how to lie again. And by the time people notice that you are lying, that will be your end. That's exactly what God has demonstrated so far for the last 6 months. Those who pretend that they are good and they are for the best interest of Biafra and for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, it does not matter how much you pretend. If you are not truthful, one day you will be exposed. You can never outsmart the spirit of Biafra. You can never outsmart the Biafra people at the end of the day. Some of you that have made Simon Ekpa your enemy, Simon Ekpa will become your enemy. Some of you that have made Simon Ekpa your Nigeria, Simon Ekpa will become your Biafra. Some of you that made Simon Ekpa the agitation or the freedom you are fighting for, Simon Ekpa will give you water. Some of them that have come today as they struggle to manipulate the history of what has happened for the past 1 year. When God will expose you, you will regret ever thinking about it. Nothing is hidden on the surface of the earth. The reason why Simon Ekpa stand very tall today is because I stand on the truth. And I stand on the legacies of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There is nothing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has done that is crime or punishable by any law. There is nothing. That's exactly where I stand. I could remember sometimes in 2020, I told Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that whatever you do, I will follow you. And I said, the reason I joined this struggle is that if you do not have what could bring Biafra, I will bring something to support you. And that is exactly what I have done and I continue to do until after these 140 days from today. Those of you who think that you can manipulate the mind of people to hate Simon Ekpa, you are going to be disgraced. Those of you who think that with propaganda you can somehow destroy the plan that Autopilot and Simon Ekpa has for Biafra, you will be disgraced. You will be disgraced. I have challenged anybody who think that Simon Ekpa has ulterior motive to come forward and tell us why he believes that Simon Ekpa is not for Biafra. The propaganda that they fly of social media, they started after we destroyed Anonymous. They say Simon Ekpa collected $2.7 million. I want you people to understand that the people we are dealing with are evil. They go to the underworld to find information about the future. They see the future, they may not see it very clearly. So when they see the future, they come back and reinforce themselves to work against the future. But I want you to understand that nobody fight me and remain the same. It is not by my power, but by the power of nature and truth. These criminals, gang, Anonymous, and their group, led by China Sanworu, the Mohammed Abbas in Kuwait, that were feeding fat on the blood of innocent Biafrans. Of course, they consult witch doctors to know what Simon Ekpa will do. And they use the Anonymous to speak to Biafrans. Anonymous, they say, Simon Ekpa will be the worst thing that happened to IPOB. Did you all remember? They say Simon Ekpa is the worst thing that will happen to IPOB. But that's a lie. Simon Ekpa is not the worst thing that happened to IPOB. Simon Ekpa is one of the good things and the good gift of Biafra spirit to IPOB, to genuine IPOB and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. All of you saw that. Do you think that that particular update kept coming from Anonymous was more of a exposition of a hacker or more of a exposition of people that have consulted witch doctors? I want you to think deep this evening. The people who call themselves Anonymous is being led by the Mohammed Abbas in Kuwait. with all these ones in Africa countries. They said, Anonymous begin to post that Simon Ekpa is the worst thing that will happen to IPOB. That is not coming from people that are hackers. Rather, it's coming from a witch doctor. A witch doctor who have told them that Simon Ekpa will end every criminality in IPOB. So they are not actually talking about the genuineness of the Biafra struggle, but they are talking about the criminals, the criminality and criminal activity in the Biafra movement, which, if you allow to continue, you will never get close to Biafra. You will never get close to Biafra. That is why everything happening today is divine. Those articles were shared by all of them, that Simon Ekpa will be the worst thing that happened to IPOB. I want you to understand that they have consulted and they have done consultations. And they told them, kick Simon Ekpa out of the way at all costs. A week ago, we rounded up the exposition or the analysis of the confession, part 1. And I said, we are going to round up the part 1 confession because the part 2 confession is coming. There is nothing I have said that have not happened. The only thing that is yet to happen is that Biafra will come in 2023. And we are getting there. I want you to connect the dots. They said that Simon Ekpa will be the worst thing that happened to IPOB. And these some people who said Simon Ekpa will be the worst thing that will happen to IPOB, they started shouting that Simon Ekpa is nobody. Thinking that it is going to move market when they say Simon Ekpa is nobody. Yet, the spirit of Biafra continued to catapult Simon Ekpa to the limelight. Now, last week, I told you people that part 2 of the confession is coming. Here we are. One thing is that they can never run away and escape this particular confession. Today, the same people who have kept Biafrans in the dark for the past 1.5 years have now come to say they know what happened to our leader in Kenya. For the past 1 year, yesterday, they have come for the very first time to say they are aware that they know what happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya, but they want to keep it secret. But that is the same thing Kanu have revealed in one of his interviews. He said that these criminals in the leadership knows what they know more than him. Do you remember that? These evil people, after 1 year, they have come to say they are aware of what happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but they want to keep it secret. And Kanu said that they know more than him. And they kept quiet. It is now that we have released the power against them, that you see them confessing. I told you people that the part 2 is coming, and it is here. And in this whole thing, I have always told you people, I have no problem with some of them. I have no problem with Kanu. The only problem I had with Kanu is the fact that they did not inform anybody that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have problem. The problem I had with the secretary was that she did not also inform anybody that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have problem. And for that reason, they contributed to the extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria. That's all. There are many things. And I have made myself very clear. That is my anger. As somebody that is pure. If I had known that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in Kenya, maybe God would have used me somehow. But at the same time, Biafra is a spirit. Certain things that we can't control. The spirit of Biafra will let it to happen. And that's why we are where we are today. If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu can give a prophecy that in the next 2 weeks before he was kidnapped, that things are going to happen, it means that even the spirit of Biafra already informed him that something is going to happen. So whatever you see happening today is a divine mandate. I want to tell you today that these people who say instead of Simon Ekpa getting Biafra, they will kill themselves, they are on the loose to do everything to destroy Biafra from coming. But I don't know that Biafra cannot be destroyed by a man. They never born that person. I want you to understand that I have confessed. First of all, it is on the record that the Mohammed Abbas in Kuwait, for the very first time after over 1 year, have come to tell Biafrans that they, in the leadership, are aware of what happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but they keep it secret. And they allow Kanu, who also I could blame. They cornered him, and all of them were against Simon Ekpa. They think that Simon Ekpa have come to hijack Biafra's struggle from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is not my mission. My mission is to help Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to get Biafra. And I'm going to do that. The same people today, after Mazi Nnamdi Kanu talked about pipeline security, the way he talked about them, today, these same criminals that are now after how to make money, because it is all about money. They have come to announce that they have become pipeline security in the hinterland. Tompolo reached out to BNL, which is in alliance with Autopilot IPOB, the thing they could not do for many years. We have done it within 6 months. The unification they could not do for the entire lifespan in IPOB because they were never interested in Biafra. We did it. Because anytime Mazi Nnamdi Kanu make a move to unify agitators, they have always sabotaged it. Anytime Mazi Nnamdi Kanu make a move to know the plight of the ESN, the Mohammed Abbas in Kuwait, we always tell him, our leader, everything is taken care of, everything is fine, everything is fine. Why people were dying in the camps, why people were being sabotaged and subjugated to all manner of inhuman treatment in ESN camp. Some of you remember when video circulated, the video of ESN circulated on social media, that the ESN is not being cared for, that they are not feeling fine. Some medical doctors who were in America visited the Eastern Security Network in a camp, carried out some kind of investigation. The video were leaked on social media. The reason why the video was leaked on social media was because when these people contacted Onyendu, this criminal Chinas Amuru, all of them, they say it's a propaganda, it's a lie. That is nothing like that. And the next thing, boom, on social media, the video circulated. When Onyendu want to make a move to do something for the people of Biafra, these criminals have always sabotaged him. They call him Onyendu, we have taken care of it. And no problem, everything is taken care of. And the next thing is that they will make whoever that wanted to salvage that situation to become the enemy of Onyendu. They will call the person Sabu. And because you will not have opportunity to defend yourself, you will not have opportunity to explain. The evil in IPOB was overwhelming. Today, I can assure you that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will come out and IPOB will never remain the same, because now only the genuine agitators will be part of this Onyendu. And this will lead to Biafra next year. The program I'm having this evening is completely a very special program. And if you miss this opportunity to listen live to the world from the under the sea, it will never be the same when you listen to me after the live program have ended. So you are privileged to listen to the first word as they come from the deep of the sea. I want you to understand that they look down on me. They say they are going to close Simon Ekpa chapter like they did to other people. I looked at them and laughed. I have not even started. You are going to know me very soon. I am born for this Biafra to come. And when I told them that I have the same, almost the same history like Onyendu, they use it to do program. And I don't know when you are going to learn a lesson. I will be your last bus stop. It is not just it is not just ordinary talking. I will be your last bus stop. And those who are still preparing, I will be your last bus stop. And those who actually have become their last bus stop, demonstrated it, and they are gone. You can never rise up again. Those who are still demonstrating the sign of a dying horse. I will be your last bus stop. Today, they are now coming out openly to say they want to become pipeline security guard just to fight against Biafra. Pipeline security guard. It is not what we are known for. We don't guard the pipeline. But I want you to understand one thing. The award, the contract given to Tompolo do not have men to execute that contract of pipeline security. He don't have men. And Tompolo knows that he don't have men to effectively execute that contract. So what does Tompolo do? Tompolo now goes and start influencing some people that were never genuine in Biafra struggle. Buy them off to begin to guard the pipeline. But let me tell you, the agenda and the end result is not to guard pipeline. It is to sabotage the Biafra movement. You can imagine where the Mohammed Abbas Chinasa criminal Nworo in Kuwait shouting on Radio Biafra that Tompolo approached him. And you know what that means, whether it is truth or not. And of course, it is always they approach him and he did not collect money, so he decided to execute the contract without collecting money. The same way they approach them during the sit at home. They offered them money. In addition to the money, whoever that were involved in the leaking of the information of where Onyendu, the whereabouts of Onyendu, they begin to open office on Simon Ekpa and sit at home. They say the commissioner told them, bring account, let me give you 40 million. Rewrite the order of Monday sit at home. After few days, the order of Monday sit at home were rewritten. They rewrited it. And so the question you should be asking yourself is that they rewrite this order, was it free of charge? Did they reject the 40 million? And they say, okay, we are not collecting the money, but we are going to rewrite it. Considering how they love money, now they have come again. Tompolo reached out to us. Somebody that Nigeria government have awarded billions of naira security, pipeline security contract. He don't have men to execute the contract. Come and become a... When did Chinasa Nworo, a criminal, begin to guide pipeline? When did IPOB begin to guard pipeline? When did the Biafra agitators become a pipeline security? We can never be. Even if we want to guide pipeline security, we are not going to guard it for Nigeria. And in Biafra, there is no need to have pipeline security because we are not going to have insecurity of the pipeline in Biafra Republic. 4 billion naira monthly. And that is why everything that anybody is doing for the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Biafra, they sabotage it. So today, instead of Biafra will come and Simon Ekpa is doing something, they are going to destroy it. They have failed. Not even Tompolo will stop Biafra from coming next year. Tompolo, I respect so much, and he knows it. He knows it very well. I respect him. He's a businessman. But you can't use the freedom of your people to do business. It was because of my comment and broadcast on Tompolo that made them to come to Radio Biafra to start shouting that Tompolo contacted them. Because to them, hey, I am now fighting Tompolo, so let us go closer to Tompolo and make Tompolo our friend for one Nigeria. I don't need friend of anybody. My only friend is freedom. Anybody that wants freedom is my friend. If you don't want freedom, I'm not your friend, no matter who you are. And I know that it will benefit Tompolo and his people to be free from Nigeria, where they are going to be paid 3%, and this 3% does not go to the development of Niger Delta. They have what they call the NDDC. NDDC, they pump money into NDDC. The effect of NDDC is not being felt anywhere in the Niger Delta region. But every year, you are going to be hearing billions and billions of dollars that is being pumped into NDDC. But it's not being felt anywhere. There is no school, there is no hospital, there is no good road, there is no sewage system, there is no nothing. People are living on top of water in the worst state. For how long will you continue that? So, those who say that they have come and now it is their turn to fight Simon Ekpa, I will tell you, Simon Ekpa will be your end also. I am telling you the fact. It does not matter who you are. The fame you enjoy, if you think that Simon Ekpa is the next person you are going to target, that will be your end. I am telling you the fact. Before Biafra come next year, you will be forgotten. When these particular criminals in DOS, expelled criminals, when they want to attack me, I warned them for more than 6 months. I was begging them, leave me the hell alone. That when I start, I will not stop. All the people that were attacking me today, they have come to know the truth. But have they apologized? The answer is no. Those of them who immediately they wanted to silence me, they created their own page. They started making broadcasts like this man called Ezeji. This man Ezeji in UK. He has disappeared. I remember how he bragged how he's going to end Simon Ekpa. He come with Ofo on live TV. He come on live broadcast and do Ofo. How long? Ordinary wind that blowed, they blow him away. He disappeared. That is it. How many of you remember him? He's in the UK. Simon Ekpa is nobody. I am this, I am that. Ordinary blow. He disappeared. Till today. All of them were the one going and calling from one platform to other, telling how they are going to deal with Simon Ekpa. Where are they today? They are gone. That is a G of a man. I know that after mentioning his name, is going to come out. without shame. Because that is what they do. Anybody I mention his name, the person will summon courage to come and say, yes, I am still here. I have not disappeared. But you have not heard from him since last year. They disappeared. He was the one who mentioned that they have removed Onyendu name. They accused him of receiving letter of IPOB when he is not receiving the letter. Ordinary small blackmail. They accuse him that he is the one receiving letter. And he is not the one receiving the letter. They say he was the one who passed the information to us. How did we know that Onyendu name was removed? That he was the one leaking the information. And this person have not come publicly to apologize to God, not to me, because you have wronged the God of Biafra. You know, what I'm doing today is to give Biafra people the sense of belonging, you know, because before it has been, you know, this gossip and saga and all that. So this evening is going to be, I am giving you the word from the deep blue sea. When people are saying the less you look, or the more you look, the less you see, in our own dictionary, we don't have that. What we have is that the less you look, the more you see. He came with the offer. They called me fake God. They say I have fake God. I have Korea God. I have this one. I have that. My God is in heaven, and only God knows that. He came and attacked me. Today, ordinary one blackmail of collecting letter of IPOB and hiding it. They destroyed him. He's gone. I also want you people to understand that when this thing started, there is another one in London, you know, because I may not have the opportunity to have a program like this again from today. So it is time for me to talk to you, Biafrans, for record. The one they called Ume in London, also, all of them, they had a program. Every day, Simon Ekpa, every day, Ekpa this, every day, Ekpa that. Today, the thing I did 6 months ago is what they are doing now. I have done it. I left. That same thing I did is what they are doing now. And they are yet to apologize to the spirit of Biafra for having accused me wrongly, for having blackmailed me, for having tried to destroy my reputation. For no reason. As I'm talking to you today, none of these people have any evidence against Simon Ekpa. Nothing to show again that this is what Simon Ekpa did. What I did that made them to hate me was that I refused the devil to enter me. I want to ask you, Biafrans, so if I had danced to the tone of these criminals in DOS, by agreeing to what they are doing, by allowing them to penetrate me, is it now that we come and start doing exposition of DOS? Is it now? You think that anybody will listen to anybody? Is it now? By now, ESN is gone. By now, they must have destroyed our men on ground. So if I had followed the path of these criminals in DOS who want to destroy the legacy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is it now, when there will be no ESN, that they will come, I will come and I will be telling Biafrans that, oh, these people have destroyed ESN, oh, these people have destroyed the Biafra, oh, we are now into pipeline security, oh, we are now into obedient, oh, we are now, is that what you want me to be doing now? Because that is what exactly the people that fought me, and they are now, their eyes are clear. That's exactly what they are doing. By now, everything would have been destroyed. Of course, you will never understand because I did not allow them to use me. All these people that are coming after 1 year, to be telling you how they are criminals, how they are looting money, how they are using their money to fix car, how they are doing this and doing that. Is that what you wanted me to do? By now, after 1 year of incarceration, of Mazinam Dekan incarceration, I will come now and start telling you this is what they are, this is what. By then, everything is gone. Where are we going to start? I am giving you, my own is I say it, you have evidence. I have told you Ezeji attacked me. Today, he is no more. He's an evidence. He is alive. I told you the one they call Ume, who say he is a IPOB headmaster. He attacked me. The thing I did that made him to attack me is the same thing he is doing today in the United Kingdom. It's evidence. I am not making anything up. It is not propaganda. Everything I have done that made him to attack me because they don't know where I come from. They don't know what I know. The thing they are seeing today, I saw it before even joining IPOB. The one they call Sampe Master, he has gone. I told him, if you do not apologize to the God, your power will be gone. Today, Sampe Master cannot dream again. I am telling you, it is not mouth. The gods have taken his power, if he had any, away. Let him come and challenge me now. Let him come and use Ofo to do something. Let us see. He is gone. I am saying this on live video. It is not bragging. They have become powerless. Sampe Master can no longer dream his dreams. His dream is gone. The first person that started this whole thing is the one in Turkey, the illiterate in Turkey. He came and said, Simon Ekpa have ordered a week or 2 weeks sit at home for Christian, that IPOB cannot be part of it, and he knows he lied. He came with Osoji on live video. He came with Osoji. He said, this is Osoji, I am giving this Osoji. Simon Ekpa is the one who come to give orders, sit at home. He is the one who come. He say everybody sit at home. He bring Osoji. While the person that started the Christian sit at home is Dr. Malafia, and the video is there on social media. He brought Osoji because he don't understand broken. He don't understand the English. He cannot research. He saw a very clear lie. He came to tell that it was Simon Ekpa. With Osoji, I told him, you are gone. Today, is he not gone? I know that after, you know how they do. Once I mention their name, the next day they will spring up. They have mentioned my name. Let us go on social media. That Simon Ekpa that is nobody to them has mentioned my name. Let us go to social media and people are going to look for me because he has mentioned my name. That was how I played the other guy video, who is in Germany. I played his video after his own confession. I told him to take the case to court. I told him to take the case to court. He must take the case to court. I played his video. He jumped out. Bam! I want to defend myself. I want to debunk Simon Ekperima. I want to debunk that thing in Finland. Because he feels so important after mentioning his name. He came with a suit and MP. He ordered MP like this. So, Simon Ekpa is responsible for the killing in Anambra State. He has now become, he has summoned courage and have energy. He feels so important that now Simon Ekpa play his video, Soludo will listen to him. So, Simon Ekpa that is nobody, he is now calling Soludo because he thinks that now Simon Ekpa have called his name. So, Soludo, he is very important now and Soludo must listen to him. He called again, Soludo, I told you, Simon Ekpa is the one. So I know, as I'm mentioning these names today, they are going to come online from tomorrow or maybe next tomorrow to show that they are still alive. There is another one who they call, I was watching the other one who is having a program with the one they call Ume from London. He is calling the one they call one Australian page or something, or that he is sick. It is because he attacked him and all that. But that man they called the Australian page, he has been attacking Simon Ekpa, blackmailing Simon Ekpa. And they say he is sick. And the one who have attacked Simon Ekpa is saying that he have a spirit that anybody who attack him will not end well. You can never, that your spirit, if you had any, can never be effective when you are owing somebody apology. When you are owing the gods that follows me apology. You don't know what follows me. You don't know. So there is no way that your power can be effective again until you apologize to the gods that follows me. So what am I trying to say this evening? I'm trying to make some general, analysis of what has transpired in the last 1.5 years. The other one that has been carrying baby on the street, she finally got paper and she has disappeared on social media because she have now gotten document. That is the only reason she was making broadcasts, shouting and abusing people, constituting nuisance on social media. All of them. I want Biafrans to understand one thing. The reason why I'm touching all these places is for you to know that I follow everything that is happening. All of you know that I know why I have asked people not to attack Barrister Ejiofor. The time Barrister Ejiofor mentioned the criminals in the US, I came to address him. After addressing him, it did not stop us from discussing. It did not stop us from discussing. When they say all these things they are talking, I just look at them and laugh. I communicate with Barrister Ejiofor until the last minute. Until the last minute. And when we are going to discuss that is coming. One thing I have to tell you people is this. Do not fight somebody that his hands are clean. No matter what. Don't. Don't. Today, everything that I fought with autopilot IPOB is the thing some people are fighting today. We have left them. Today, ESN is intact. Today, the legacy is intact. Today, Biafra struggle is waxing very, very strong. Today, it is no longer a social media thing. We are now engaging countries. nations, of which green light has been given. Some of you don't know. There is nothing that is going to stop Biafra from coming next year. Nothing. So I want to warn those who will want to be telling people that when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu come, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going to do this and do that. That is not what we are here. I want broadcasters who are engaging in those kind of analysis to desist from that. Our main objective now is not to analyze what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will do when he come out. Our focus and the focus of everybody should be that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will come out first. Don't start analyzing what he will do when he come out. We don't need it. We don't need it. What we need now is to analyze how he will be released. To analyze that they are going to release him tomorrow. To analyze that they are going to release him next tomorrow. We don't need to start analyzing what he is going to do when he come out. What is going to be his political opinion when he come out. How he is going to comment on the president and the presidential election. That is not what we are here. What we are here to do is to make sure that they obey their shenanigan court order and bring him out. When he come out, we cannot talk about whatever that is going to be his opinion. So I'm appealing to every Biafran broadcasters who have now made it to become a topic to start discussing what is going to be the opinion of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and what he's going to do when he come out. It is not necessary. We don't need those analyses. We don't need those broadcasts. Let us start analyzing the things that are happening now. It is not everything we will predict and analyze the future. Yet again, I have to appeal to all broadcasters that are analyzing what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will do when he come out, to desist from that. It is a distraction. Allow those criminals who we have exposed to start analyzing that when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu come out, he will not talk to Simon Ekpa, he is not going to do this. Allow them to say that. Allow them to make broadcast on that. We are not shaking. Do not analyze that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will have opinion on politics. We don't want to hear that. But of course, for those who don't want to be part of us again, you can go ahead. Because as it is now, we don't have power over obedient people. So we don't have power over them. If you are a broadcaster and you are obedient, then you can continue to do your propaganda against us. Well, I will tell you, at least Biafrans will know that this person or this channel is obedient channel. So we are going to know. But if you are for Biafra, no matter what, there are some things you are not going to be saying, especially when it has to do with election and our leader. We need to focus on analysis that will affect his release. When he come out, we are going to open a new chapter. The next chapter will be open immediately our leader is released from the DSS dungeon. We are going to open a new chapter. And that chapter is not known by anybody. So you wait as we are going to direct you step by step to Biafra next year. We will continue to maintain that there is no election, and Biafra will never allow any election in Biafra land in 2023. Nothing is going to stop that. Now, I want you all to listen to what I'm about to do. Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar have this to say.
Yeah, Professor Ango. 35. I have traversed the whole 35. And I have traversed the whole of this country. I know the whole of this country. I have built bridges across this country. I think what the average northerner needs is somebody who is from the north and who also understands the other parts of Nigeria.
Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar is campaigning in the northern Nigeria. He went to his people to campaign. And what he...
Atiku is my leader.
Atiku Abubakar is in the northern Nigeria, campaigning for Nigeria, one Nigeria election. In that his campaign, he is telling the North that what you need is not a president from this Igbo. What you need is not a president from Yoruba. That what you need is a president from the northern Nigeria. That is the agenda of the Abuja Declaration of 1989. While Obi is here, praising Atiku and calling Atiku his boss, I want you to see things very deeply.
Atiku is my leader, my boss, and a senior brother. If he invites me for anything, I'll attend. Aspiring does not say I should not keep my relationship that is very cordial and everything. I'm aspiring. But remember, I always say, Atiku is a unifier. He believes in Nigeria. He's a good man.
Did you hear that? He said Atiku is a unifier. Atiku believes in Nigeria. He said it. This is a man that some ignorant youth hold in a very high esteem. The man who come to say Atiku is a unifier. Listen to the Atiku who Obi addressed as a unifier. Listen.
And I have traversed the whole of this country. I know the whole of this country.
I know the whole of this country.
I have built bridges across this country.
I have built bridges across this country.
I think what the average northerner needs is somebody who is from the north.
I think what the average northerner need is somebody who is from the north. That is what Obi, the London boy, addressed as a unifier. A unifier to Obi is somebody who speaks like this. I just want you to see how fake Obi is. I just want you to see how Obi is going to serve the Fulanis, even if even if he don't become anything. Obi have soiled his hand to be a slave to Fulani. Now, this is a man Obi is telling you he is a unifier. How can Obi make decisions by regarding somebody like this as a unifier? So what Obi is trying to tell you is that if he becomes the president of Nigeria, he will appoint Atiku to become one of the unifier of Nigeria. And the unifier of Nigeria is somebody with such mentality. Listen to him.
More than I need is somebody who is from the north and who also understands the other parts of Nigeria. And
what average northerner need is somebody who is from the north and also understand other part of Nigeria. Do you understand?
Who has been able to build bridges.
Who have been able to build bridges
across the rest of the country.
Who have been able to build bridges across the length of the country. Now, when you hear Atiku talk about building bridges, his bridge to Southeast is Obi, Peter Obi. He is not talking about building bridges as in, that he loves Igbos. He is not talking about building bridges that he is going to do something for Biafra. He's not talking about building bridges that he will appoint this and appoint those who believe in the Biafra nation in Nigeria. He's not talking about that. He's talking about those his friends, like Peter Obi, who is running as a president, and he is still calling him a boss. That is the bridge Atiku is talking about here. Atiku is not talking about bridge of building road in Biafra land as Southeast is concerned. Atiku is not talking about opening port in Biafra land as part of the bridges he has built. Atiku is not talking about making sure that Enugu State have embassies, that American embassy is in Enugu State. That is not the bridge Atiku is talking about. Atiku is not talking about that American embassy is in Anambra State. That is not the bridge Atiku is talking about. Atiku is talking about the bridge of Peter Obi from Anambra. Wike, although they are now fighting each other. Somebody like the other person opposition to Wike in the river, a river state. That is his bridge. His bridge is Ugwanye in Enugu. That is his bridge. His bridge is not something that benefits ordinary people in Biafra land. His bridge is the politicians that they are nyashing each other. That is the bridge of Atiku. They nyash each other. Now listen.
This is what the northerner needs. He doesn't need a Yoruba candidate.
Northerner doesn't need a Yoruba candidate. That is the unifier Obi is talking about.
Or an Igbo candidate.
Or an Igbo candidate. That is the unifier Obi is talking about. Let us listen to him again.
A Yoruba candidate.
Let us listen. Let us listen.
This is what the northerner needs. He doesn't need a Yoruba candidate or an Igbo candidate.
Did you hear that? Northerner doesn't need a Yoruba candidate. Northerner doesn't need Igbo candidate. That is what Obi called a unifier. I want you to see how bad Obi is. Obi called him a unifier. And I have explained what the unifier of Obi is talking about and why when Atiku say you build bridges, I have explained the bridges Atiku is talking about. Let us listen to him again.
To build bridges across the rest of the country. This is what the Northerner needs. He doesn't need a Yoruba candidate or an Igbo candidate. This is what the Northerner needs. So I believe before you Nigerian of northern origin.
So I stand before you as a pan-Nigerian of northern origin. Do you understand? Everything he is saying here is to, to show the division, to show the dangerous diversity, to show that Atiku, all of them, have always had what we call the northern agenda. And they only show it whenever they gather themselves in the north. But look at Obi.
Atiku is my leader.
Atiku is my leader. My leader that Obi is talking about is a leader who will tell the north that you don't need Igbo president, Igbo candidate. The leader of Obi is a leader who will say that the North don't need a Yoruba man as a president. The leader that Obi recognized is a leader who are nepotic, who are Islamists, who are extremists. Atiku have accepted that killing of Deborah is justified for blasphemy. That is what Obi is regarded as a leader and the boss. Listen.
My boss, Atiku, is my leader. My boss and a senior brother. If he invites me for anything, I'll attend. Aspiring does not say I should not keep my relationship. That is very cordial and everything. I'm aspiring. But remember, I always say, Atiku is a unifier. He believes in Nigeria. He's a good man.
Have you all heard it? Atiku is a unifier. I am only coming here to show Nigerians ignorant Nigerians, how those who are supporting the man, the London boy called Obi, and the decision he is making by recognizing Atiku as a unifier. And let me play the unifier again. That is how they will continue to make bad decisions that will affect your future today. Obi was the governor of Anambra State. There were no sewage system. Obi used the money he was supposed to use to build sewage system and bank it in his bank. And the money was multiplied. Listen to the Obi unifier.
Yeah, Professor Ango. 35. And I have traversed the whole of the country. I know the whole of this country. I have built bridges across this country. I think what the average northerner needs is somebody who is from the north and who also understands the other parts of Nigeria and who has been able to build bridges across the rest of the country. This is what the northerner needs. He doesn't need a Yoruba candidate or an Igbo candidate. This is what the Northerners need. So I believe I stand before you as a pan-Nigerian of Northern origin. Thank you very much.
Did you hear that? He stands as a pan-Nigerian of Northern origin. That is how they make the decisions that have affected you today. Tomorrow is sit at home for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. As he continues, we have not seen him. And of course, I thank everyone that contributed and were part of the youth, the first Biafra Youth ESM fundraising yesterday. Our next mega fundraising probably is going to be on the 29th of this month. Save the date. Very, very important. Mega fundraising for ESM will be on the 29th of this month. Very, very, very important. 29th of this month is the last Saturday of the month. Mark the date somewhere and let us move with speed. I thank you, my fellow Biafrans. Tomorrow, sit at home. We are all sitting at home to make sure that we are not just saying for saying sake. We lead by example. May God bless Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. May God bless Sunday Igboho. May God bless Eastern Security Network. May God bless our Umuada and their husbands. May God bless our media people. May God bless all of you that are supporting this movement. Today we had over 20,000 live viewers. Today we have recorded 20,000 live viewers. And on YouTube alone, we had over 4,000 viewers within 2 hours, 14 minutes. May God bless all of you. May God bless those back home. Chioma Irochukwu, thank you very much for a super chat. I appreciate you. We are going to Biafra. And our nation will come and nothing will stop it. From tonight, woto woto to the enemies of Biafra. 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 We are going home. Woto woto to the enemies of Biafra. Woto woto to the enemies of Biafra. And the people in Enugu State, keep your eyes open. We don't support propaganda. Keep your eyes open. We are equal to the tax. Whatever happens, we are going to protect and defend our land at all costs. Good night.
I thank Simon Ekpa for actually bringing it up. I think Simon Ekpa does this very brilliant video analysis, which I think is a new genre, so to speak, in this propagation. I think he's doing a very good job, and may he continue. And let the demon not go into him. He should remain focused, applied, and disciplined. You know, our problem is lack of application and discipline. Once you're disciplined and you apply yourself dutifully and diligently, the end result is always assured, is victory. I thank Simon Ekpa for actually bringing it up. I think Simon Ekpa does this very brilliant video analysis, which I think is a new genre, so to speak, in this propagation. I think he's doing a very good job, and may he continue. And let the demon not go into him. He should remain focused, applied, and disciplined. You know, our problem is lack of application and discipline. Once you're disciplined and you apply yourself dutifully and diligently, the end result is always assured, is victory. I thank Simon Ekpa for actually bringing it up. I think Simon Ekpa does this very brilliant video analysis, which I think is a new genre, so to speak, in this propagation. I think he's doing a very good job, and may he continue. And let the demon not go into him. He should remain focused, applied, and disciplined. You know, our problem is lack of application and discipline. Once you're disciplined and you apply yourself dutifully and diligently, the end result is always assured, is victory. I thank Simon Ekpa for actually bringing it up. I think Simon Ekpa does this very brilliant video analysis, which I think is a new genre, so to speak, in this propagation. I think he's doing a very good job, and may he continue. And let the demon not go into him. He should remain focused, applied, and disciplined. You know, our problem is lack of application and discipline. Once you're disciplined and you apply yourself dutifully and diligently, the end result is always assured, is victory. I thank Simon Ekpa for actually bringing it up. I think Simon Ekpa does this very brilliant video analysis, which I think is a new genre, so to speak, in this propagation. I think he's doing a very good job, and may he continue. And let the demon not go into him. He should remain focused, applied, and disciplined. You know, our problem is lack of application and discipline. Once you're disciplined and you apply yourself dutifully and diligently, the end result is always assured, is victory. I thank Simon Ekpa for actually bringing it up. I think Simon Ekpa does this very brilliant video analysis, which I think is a new genre, so to speak, in this propagation. I think he's doing a very good job, and may he continue. And let the demon not go into him. He should remain focused, applied, and disciplined. You know, our problem is lack of application and discipline. Once you're disciplined and you apply yourself dutifully and diligently, the end result is always assured, is victory. I thank Simon Ekpa for actually bringing it up. I think Simon Ekpa does this very brilliant video analysis, which I think is a new genre, so to speak, in this propagation. I think he's doing a very good job, and may he continue. And let the demon not go into him. He should remain focused, applied, and disciplined. You know, our problem is lack of application and discipline. Once you're disciplined and you apply yourself dutifully and diligently, the end result is always assured, is victory. I thank Simon Ekpa for actually bringing it up. I think Simon Ekpa does this very brilliant video analysis.
Quickly clarify, did I hear you say that you helped rig elections before now?
Let me tell you one thing. Yes, I did. Because I'm now confessing the truth. Look, what do I mean? I don't have to go and change election. But you know, when you provide money, you give money to INEC boys to help you if they see any chance that they should favor you. You provide money to the security. All our elections in the past, I've been in this game for about 40 years. And I tell you, each time, it's not necessarily when I'm contesting election, but when my party sponsors a candidate, I would like that candidate to win election. And what we used to do before, we make provision for INEC, we make provision for security, we make provision for even agents of other parties, you know, so that they will not, you know, raise any objection to whatever we're able to get. So whether I rig myself or not, by providing those resources, financial inducement to the officials, I am rigging election.
Do you think that we can diminish or remove that influence as 2019 approaches?
I believe so, because you see, if people are born again like me and they refuse to do it, if we, the players, unless we give before somebody will take, right? So don't give, and then we will not get a taker. We will not get a taker. Why you don't even ask me why am I thinking this way? Look, I am tired of being seen as a criminal in the streets of the world because we are a Nigerian. You know, you assume that everybody is an innocent human being until it's proven otherwise. But once you are outside this country with a green passport and they see that you are a Nigerian, even if you are a pastor or you are an imam, they will assume that you are criminally minded or you have criminal tendencies just because of where you come from. That must change. I am tired of living in poverty in the midst of plenty. I cannot, even no matter how much you have, every day you see people coming to you, relations, friends, this and that. My wife has given birth, my mother is in the hospital, this and that, every day. But if everybody had enough to take care of himself or herself, they won't come bothering you to say, give me this, give me that. And I believe that we have the resources that people can live a decent life without being beggars to those who have. Just because we haven't gotten our own governance system right. So we need good governance. And good governance can only be provided by good people who are truly repentant, who actually are there to serve the people, who are concerned about the well-being of the people, being the primary concern of the well-being of the people. Then when we have such leaders, I can tell you they will judiciously and prudently use our resources for the common good of everybody.
I thank Simon Ekpa for actually bringing it up. I think Simon Ekpa does this very brilliant video analysis, which I think is a new genre, so to speak, in this propagation. I think he's doing a very good job, and may he continue. And let the demon not go into him. He should remain focused, applied, and disciplined. You know, our problem is lack of application and discipline. Once you're disciplined and you apply yourself dutifully and diligently, the end result is always assured, is victory.
Fellow Nigerian, in search of excellence for Africa, my mission remains to create awareness, advance practical solutions, and transform mindsets via case studies. Together, let's midwife deliverance for our race, country, and continent. Please share this video. I am Dr. Israel Noyerem Davidson. Thank you. In 2001, U.S.-led forces overthrew a Taliban-led Afghan government following the 9/11 attacks led by the Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. For the next 20 years, the U.S. and allies enforced democratic ideals, built up Afghan security forces, and provided operational air cover. The Taliban continued to attacks. Now, eventually, under President Trump, the U.S. promised to pull out if Taliban agreed to stop attacks and hosting terrorist groups. Today, the Taliban militants have declared Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan and overrun most of the country at lightning speed with little or no resistance from the 300,000 U.S.-trained and heavily equipped Afghan forces. U.S. general could not believe an army could crumble at that rate.
I did not, nor did anyone else, see a collapse of an army that size in 11 days. There'll be many postmortems on this topic, but right now is not that time.
It is believed the Afghan soldiers, though diehards, had unquenchable allegiance to jihadist ideologies practiced by Taliban. There were Afghan soldiers by day, Taliban at heart, and Taliban at night. A situation some suggest currently exists in Nigeria too. So Afghanistan was simply handed over to the mullahs to govern based on their shared jihadist ideological leaning. The south and middle belt of Nigeria should wake up with urgency. The Afghan situation is cooking fast in Nigeria today. Afghanistan is number 1 on global terrorist list. Nigeria is number 3, second to Iran.
IPOB, one family. Biafrans all over the world. If we want safety and security for our people, then let's continue to support Eastern Security Network. All donations are welcome. No contribution is too small or too large. Do your part, knowing that freedom is in our hands, and together we must all rise to the occasion. Go to our website to make your contribution, www.ipobinUSA.org/donate. And remember that freedom is not free, but together we restore it. Farm by farm, forest by forest, house by house, and street by street.
In seconds. Did you know that until 1958, Nigeria used the British West African pound, after which it issued its currency, Nigerian pound, in the year 1958, and then Naira was introduced on the 1st of January 1973. 1 pound was equivalent to 2 Naira. Did you know that the flag of Nigeria between 1914 and 1959 was a British blue ensign with a green Star of David surrounding a Tudor crown? It was later changed to a St. Edward's crown in 1953 with the white word Nigeria under it on a red disc. The colonial flag of Nigeria was adopted in 1914 following the amalgamation of southern Nigeria and northern Nigeria. The crest on the flag was also used on the flag of the Governor General of Nigeria. The flag was not universally accepted. Some native Nigerians, including Fela Kuti, refused to salute the flag, despite it being mandated in schools. In 1956, some Muslim Nigerians burnt the Nigerian blue ensign at Mecca, Saudi Arabia, because of the Jewish Star of David on it. In 1959, before the Nigerian independence, a competition to design a new flag was held, with Taiwo Akinkomi designing the new flag of Nigeria, which replaced the blue ensign in 1960. Nigeria in seconds. Nigeria in seconds. Did you know that until 1958, Nigeria used the British West African pound, after which it issued its currency, Nigerian pound, in the year 1958, and then Naira was introduced on the 1st of January 1973. 1 pound was equivalent to 2 Naira. Did you know that the flag of Nigeria between 1914 and 1959 was a British blue ensign with a green Star of David surrounding a Tudor crown? It was later changed to a St. Edward's crown in 1953 with the white word Nigeria under it on a red disc. The colonial flag of Nigeria was adopted in 1914 following the amalgamation of southern Nigeria and northern Nigeria. The crest on the flag was also used on the flag of the Governor General of Nigeria. The flag was not universally accepted. Some native Nigerians, including Fela Kuti, refused to salute the flag, despite it being mandated in schools. In 1956, some Muslim Nigerians burnt the Nigerian blue ensign at Mecca, Saudi Arabia, because of the Jewish Star of David on it. In 1959, before the Nigerian independence, a competition to design a new flag was held, with Taiwo Akinkomi designing the new flag of Nigeria, which replaced the blue ensign in 1960. Nigeria in seconds. Nigeria in seconds. Did you know that until 1958, Nigeria used the British West African pound, after which it issued its currency, Nigerian pound, in the year 1958, and then Naira was introduced on the 1st of January 1973. 1 pound was equivalent to 2 Naira. Did you know that the flag of Nigeria between 1914 and 1959 was a British blue ensign with a green Star of David surrounding a Tudor crown. It was later changed to a St. Edward's crown in 1953 with the white word Nigeria under it on a red disc. The colonial flag of Nigeria was adopted in 1914 following the amalgamation of southern Nigeria and northern Nigeria. The crest on the flag was also used on the flag of the Governor-General of Nigeria. The flag was not universally accepted. Some native Nigerians, including Fela Kuti, refused to salute the flag, despite it being mandated in schools. In 1956, some Muslim Nigerians burnt the Nigerian blue ensign at Mecca, Saudi Arabia, because of the Jewish Star of David on it. In 1959, before the Nigerian independence, a competition to design a new flag was held, with Taiwo Akinkomi designing the new flag of Nigeria, which replaced the blue ensign in 1960. Nigeria in seconds.
The atmosphere in the court is quiet, with a few lawyers and litigants waiting to witness proceedings in the appeal filed by the detained leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu. After a 2-hour wait, the court delivers its judgment, discharging Mr. Nnamdi Kanu of the 6-count charge of terrorism on the grounds that the trial court lacked the jurisdiction to entertain the charges against him. The court held that an unlawful and extraordinary rendition without adherence to due process of the law is a gross violation of all international conventions, protocols and treaties that Nigeria is signatory to, as well as a breach of the appellant's fundamental human rights. The appellate court holds that the federal government failed to controvert the allegation that the IPOB leader was abducted in Kenya and brought back to Nigeria without extradition proceeding. The court further adds that the government was ominously silent on the issue, which is described as very pivotal in determining whether the trial court would still have the jurisdiction to continue with the criminal proceeding before it. The court also notes that Nigeria is a signatory to African Union Convention, which it ratified on April 28, 2022, as well as the Charter on Human and People's Rights, which it said prescribed how a wanted person could be transferred from one country to another through an extradition request, which must be in writing with a statement indicating offenses for which a person is wanted. The appellate court held that the government's action tainted the entire proceeding it initiated against Mr. Nnamdi Kanu and amounted to an abuse of criminal prosecution in general. Although the counsel to the federal government left the court immediately after the judgment, the lawyer to Mr. Kanu reacts to the judgment.
There was one fundamental issue on which the court today anchored its judgment, this intermediate court. And that is that the lower court never evaluated the mountain of evidence placed before it regarding the forceful capture, kidnap, torture, and extraordinary rendition of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya back to Nigeria on the 26th of June, 2021.
With the verdict of the court, the battle may shift to the Supreme Court as Nnamdi Kanu battles to regain freedom.
Well, we understand that the federal government, through the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, says that it will explore all appropriate legal options before it. A statement from the Office of the Minister says the decision handed down by the Court of Appeal was on a single issue that borders on rendition. The statement reads further, let it be made clear to the general public that other issues that predate rendition on the basis of which Mr. Kanu jumped bail remain valid issues for judicial determination. The federal government will consider all available options open to it on the judgment on rendition while pursuing determination of pre-rendition issues. or senior advocate of Nigeria, Michael Zekame, joins me now for more on this ruling. Thank you for joining me on the program. I'd like to begin, this is no doubt a good day for the legal team of Nnamdi Kanu, but what does it mean exactly in clear parlance?
Well, what it means in clear parlance is that Nnamdi Kanu was discharged today. That means he's a free man, and he should be allowed to go home tomorrow. By the time we get a certified true copy of the judgment, we'll serve it on the office of the Attorney General and the DSS to allow Nnamdi Kanu go. Let my people go. That is how it is put in the Bible.
But Chief Zekame, we've heard from the federal government right now.
Was not allowing that, there was a problem. Yeah.
We just had the update from the federal government saying that it's just, on a single issue bordering on rendition, and they are looking at taking other legal options, afforded to the government.
The single issue bordering on extraordinary rendition after he was brutally captured, tortured in Kenya, blindfolded, and extrajudicially rendered back to Nigeria, is what determined it. We put all the facts before the court. The federal government had no answer to any of the allegations. And in law, when we make a certain factual allegations and they are not denied, they are deemed admitted. So if the federal government wants to pursue trifles against a citizen by appealing against such a well-rendered judgment, I can only wish them good luck. But let me also tell the federal government, if they appeal, I'm going to file a cross appeal against two of the issues which I do not agree with the Court of Appeal on. That is the issue of the status of the place of commission of an offense. Section 45 of the Federal High Court Act and decisions of the Supreme Court make it clear that you can only try a person in a place where you disclose the venue of the commission of the crime, the time, the circumstances. But when you say Nnamdi made a broadcast, from where did he make the broadcast? Is it in the spirit world? Is it in the land of the dead? The Court of Appeal, with all respect, appeared to have glossed over that something by saying, oh, it didn't matter since the charge, the counts did not deceive him. That is not the issue. Supreme Court, look, the Lebanese case that was tried, we all watched it, was it last year? They were accused of having catch of farms in Kano, but they were tried in Abuja. And the Supreme Court quashed the entire judgment because it is the venue of the commission of a crime that you should try the person. And now the Kanu, you say he made a broadcast. You have not told us where he made this broadcast from. The other one, the Court of Appeal also agreed with us, where they said he brought in a transmitter at Obulu Suzo in Ihiala local government area of Anambra State, which is outside the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court of Abuja. They also agree with us. But all in all, the issue was jurisdictional, and that is that under the Extradition Act, particularly Section 15, and under international conventions, OAU, United Nations, you cannot extrajudicially render a person by brute force, by force of arms, from one country to another. There must be a warrant of arrest, which must accompany a written document to the host country that we want this person back. They did not do that. They just forced him back. And the doctrine of specialty is that even when you bring such a person back, you can only try him for the offense that you are bringing him back for. But they still subjected Nnamdi Kanu to the first initial 5-count charge, which they later amended to 7 counts. Then they later amended again to 15 counts. Let me tell you, the federal government has amended the counts against Nnamdi Kanu 7 whole times. And the court, at the Federal High Court, I was able to get 8 of the 15 counts dismissed. It was the remaining 7 that the lower court held on to that were today dismissed by the Court of Appeal. The all remaining 7 counts were set aside, and then Nnamdi Kanu was set free, discharged by the Court of Appeal. The Supreme Court has said such a discharge amounts to discharge and acquittal. If they want to appeal against a mere citizen, when I think the federal government should see this as a good reception, as a matter that is good for the whole country, to bring about normalcy, peace to the Southeast, peace to Nigeria, and then you still want to appeal, then my take on it is that it will amount to persecution and no longer prosecution. In any event, why should the federal government, through the DSSS, that arrested this man, they are keeping him, they investigated him, they are prosecuting him, they are Lord and Master, the accuser, the prosecutor, the judge. And that cannot be a fair trial or a fair hearing. So what the Court of Appeal did today is what the federal government should have quickly done even before the Court of Appeal intervention. When I wrote Mr. President last week, 38-page letter with 3-page executive summary, begging genuflectingly Mr. President to kindly release Nnamdi Kanu in accordance with the July 20, 2022 decision ruling by the United Nations Working Group on Human Rights, where they say Nnamdi Kanu was extrajudicially rendered to Nigeria and that he was tortured and that the federal government should release him immediately and also pay him compensation.
Chief Ozekeme, I believe that, considering all that you said and seeing as the position of the federal government as well, this might be a matter that still will continue, in the courts, but I think we should leave it there. We'd like to thank you, appreciate your time. I wish we had more time.
Tomorrow, it does not stop Nnamdi Kanu being released. A notice of appeal does not act as a stay of execution, nor does it render a judgment of the lower court invalid. They should release Nnamdi Kanu immediately and let him go. And let peace reign in Nigeria, for God's sake.
Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Chief Mike Ozekeme, thank you for joining us on the News at 10.
Yes, thank you very much.
After the romance between the Labour Party and the New Nigeria People's Party, the rumored merger between both parties has stalled. The candidate of the New Nigeria Party, NNPP, Rabiu Kwankwaso, over the weekend stated he can't be a running mate to the Labour Party candidate, Peter Obi, also saying that the Southeast will miss a golden opportunity if Peter Obi refuses to be his running mate. The NNPP candidate also added that the Igbos are at the bottom in politics. Reacting to the remarks by the NNPP presidential candidate, Buba Galadima highlighted that Peter Obi's best bet is to accept to be Kwankwaso's running mate and that the Labour Party candidate is suited to be vice president because of his experience in economic issues. Joining us on the show this morning to discuss the alliance between both parties and his take on recent remarks from the presidential candidate of the NNPP is Peter Obi, presidential candidate of the Labour Party. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the morning show.
Good morning, and good morning for inviting me.
So let's start off with those comments from Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, presidential flag bearer of the NNPP. He said several things, including the fact that the North will not vote for you, Peter Obi, that they would rather vote for a Northern candidate. He also talked about the fact that the Southeast has problems, in quotes, such that the North will not be voting for a person from the Southeast. What's your take on that?
Well, the comments from my respected elder brother, Kwankwaso, is the reason why we have 100 million Nigerians living in poverty. The reason why we have 18 million Nigerian children out of school. It is the reason why we have over 55% of Nigerians in under unemployment ladder. It's the reason why we have all the problems, why Nigeria is insecure. Because rather than vote for competence, we will choose to vote for incompetence based on a primitive consideration of ethnicity and religion. Tell me, today you can't travel from Abuja to Kaduna by air, by road, by train. Is it because someone from the Southeast is in charge? You can't travel from Abuja to Mina by road? Is it because somebody from the southeast is in charge? Yesterday, we had an attack by bandits on the presidential convoy in Katsina. Is it because the president from southeast is in charge? Show me where you can buy food cheaper, you have uninterrupted electricity, or people are prospering in the north because the northerners are in power, in the southwest because they're in power, and in the southeast. What we've chosen to do in this country, we will consistently hire vehicle drivers to fly the Nigerian aeroplane instead of hiring qualified pilots. My commitment is let us campaign and deal with the issue of the problems of the country. There's a lot of problems besieging this country. If you don't know today, this country will soon default in their debt service. Now we'll be at a junk status. That's what should be preoccupying us now. Our schools, universities are shut down, and we're talking about who will vote for. Let's deal with the issues. This election will not be based on my turn. It will not be based on ethnicity. It will not be based on religion. It will be based on the Nigerian agenda to save this Nigeria. Nigeria is in coma. And you need a specialist. And that is what I'm offering. To save his life or he will die. It is not about whether this person, I'm appealing to people to vote to save Nigeria. And to save Nigeria is to hire the best. I don't want people to vote for me because I'm from the southeast. I don't want people to vote for me because I'm from south-south, or I'm from southwest, or northwest, or northeast, or north central. I want them to vote for P2B because he's a Nigerian who is competent to start pulling Nigeria out of the mess it is today.
He also said that, the Igbos are on the lower ladder of Nigerian politics. I mean, we keep hearing that word. In fact, when we had the spokesperson of the NNPP, someone that did speak on behalf of the NNPP yesterday, I think a couple of days ago, if my memory serves me right, that's Alhaji Buba Galadima, he equally enunciated, those views that, no, it must be the Igbos that, it's on Monday. Yeah, thank you so much. That the Igbos should be the one to be vice presidential candidate. So tell us about everything about this, NNPP partnership and everything. Is it still working or is it dead on arrival?
Well, I'm not going to talk about the alliance because maybe some people are talking about alliance, but I want to look at their comments. Often a time, you see, you work here. Often a time we tend to neglect those on the lower ladder. There might be the solution. There might be the solution. And those comments are comments that should not be on the table today because we have a problem. My candidacy is actually meant to solve those problems, to stop referring those who are higher ladder. Because, okay, those who are higher ladder have brought us where we are. Maybe we need those on the lower ladder to be able to deal with it. And that's what, even his comment, let me take about Alhaji Bagadima's comment, which you said. He said, I'm competent to be the vice president because of my knowledge of the economy. Let me tell you, Nigerian problem is the economy. So why do you want somebody who has knowledge of what the problem is to be vice? That is what I'm saying. You want to use the people who should be on reserve bank to be to start the match when, no. He mentioned that I have the knowledge. The Nigerian problem is the economy. It is the economy because people don't have job, because people don't have means of livelihood, you push them into criminality, into agitation, into all sorts of problems we're facing today. And that is what I'm saying, that I have the knowledge to start pulling these people out of poverty. My candidacy and the team I want to assemble, young, sharp people will start mitigating the dangers we're facing today. I will start dealing with cutting costs in order to be able to pull Nigerians out of poverty, to be able to reduce. Go and look at it. So it is actually what is telling you what Bubakladima said. I would say is Peter Obi is qualified to be vice president. Everybody have said it, not just Bubakladima. You've heard other people like Chief Servant in Niger said, everybody said he's competent. But what is the problem of Nigeria? Economic problem.
Right, so I know you're raring to get to the issues, but unfortunately identity politics is still an issue in this country. So I do also have to raise comments made by Alhaji Mahdi Shehu, chairman of the Dialogue Group, on another show on the Arise News Network, where he said that during your time as governor of Anambra, you wanted Northerners working in Anambra to wear a badge of identification. Frankly, that sounds like something out of Nazi Germany, where Jews had to wear a yellow badge, and that it was only until the intervention of Senator Rabiu Kwakwanso that you then backed down from that idea. He also raised this issue that was trending on social media, an allegation that your son was the person pictured who was dressed in Biafran attire standing on the Nigerian flag. I'd like you to address those two issues.
Well, I will even add that he mentioned issue of my sponsoring IPOB. Let me tell you, I've said it. One, go and check the records and check his facts. I've never been involved in sponsoring any agitation, be it IPOB or anyone. I've never. In 2017, which I'm sure you referred, I made a comment. I said, IPOB and all other agitations are as a result of leadership failure over the years that failed to address the critical areas of development. So it was the creation of the things were a creation of government. And I can say today that if I'm in power, I would deal decisively with all agitations through dialogue and through proper leadership. And when I finish that, if there are remnants of criminality in it, I deal with it decisively. That's what is happening everywhere. I followed issue of agitations globally. I do things with studies, and it can be dealt with. On issue of badge and identification, it's a lie. It never happened. And let me tell you, throughout the time I was governor, Kwankwaso never visited me. I can't remember. I probably haven't met Kwankwaso until maybe, I don't know. There are people I met maybe after I became governor or known close to him. You know, he's somebody that I see as a senior brother, respect him, but he never visited me as a governor or intervened on anything. And to tell you why it's a lie, all the commissioners that sat with me throughout the time I was in office are from the north. I never had the privilege of having any commissioner from southwest, south. They are all from the north. I can show you 6 of them. From John Haruna to Nazawa. Most of them, if I told them I'm from Kanu, my ADC, Mohammed, is from Kanu. So who will I give the order? Will I give them an order to go and deal with their own people? No, every other person calls his brother or his sister or his mother. Listen to be his ADC. My ADC is from Kanu, and we remain close to today. Very, very close. You can go and ask him. I'm not somebody who asks that. On the issue of my son, it is not my son. My son is a professional who is consumed by his... Yeah, let me tell you, I just came back from London. I can't even see my son. He's consumed by her work. He will tell me that, listen, Dad, I like, how are you? How is politics? How is your campaign? I like what you're doing. To me, I can exchange my messages with my son. My son will tell you, listen, Dad, I don't have time for this. I did this and this. I've stayed in a week in New York. I could not see my son because he was busy doing what he's doing. Okay. So he doesn't have time for that. That thing happened in Jani. My son doesn't live in Jani. He lives in the UK. Okay. And he's consumed by his work. Okay. And I want Alhaji, I can tell him, I'll bet any amount for anybody to prove or say that is my son. He's shorter. He's this, so.
Okay. So let's go to some key issues. Social media was agog yesterday that you had a vice presidential candidate already, Yusuf Dati, Baba Ahmed. I mean, what's your take on that? What's your take on vice presidential candidates? And also, I'd like to ask you, since you're speaking about the issues, you were in Morocco at some point, you were in Egypt, you say you're going to study the power sector. A lot of people are saying, why don't you talk to the stakeholders here? That shows that you're not prepared for this job when you're going around to study.
Okay, well, two things. The issue of vice presidential candidates, we're talking to quite a number of people. And, that they mentioned is very qualified. I wish he's the one, because what am I trying to do? It's people like him that I actually would like to work with. One, I wish I can work with somebody who is much younger, because we need to start lowering these barriers of this and bring people, younger people with fresh ideas, with something to offer, than just keep recycling this ourselves and claiming we have been there too for several times, or is our turn, or is that no. We need to start dealing with. So that we're talking to, and we will announce it as soon as we're ready, and which will be very soon. On issue.
So are you confirming? You're confirming that you're speaking to Dati and other aspirants?
There's quite a number of people who are speaking.
Dati might be the person because you spoke
look at what I said. I said, I wish he's the one. He's qualified.
Okay, you wish he's the one. Yes. So you have a soft spot for him.
Yeah, no, of course, and a few others, I want somebody who is competent. We need to, I said I'm building a team.
Okay.
I'm building a team. That team has to be a team that is formidable, a team that cannot take, even from me as president, anything. I want to assemble the type of team I had in Anambra State, and I said to them from day one, if you agree with me in 3 meetings, you go. That means you don't have your own idea. I want those who can look at my face and say, Mr. President, you're wrong. And you're wrong. Because I don't know everything.
And
I want to learn.
Deal for you. That Yusuf Dati Baba.
Oh, yes, of course. If I want people that can come in there and say to me, no, you're wrong, you can't do this. Because that's what we need. We need to save this country. And you can only do that with a team. On the issue of my traveling, let me tell you, leadership and learning is inseparable. If they tell you somebody is doing something well, you go and learn. What are they doing? What are they not doing? And that has taken me, from the time I've started this experiment or getting involved in politics, I've been to 31 countries learning. It is important, it's critical. You asked specifically, I was in Morocco. Why did I go to Morocco? Morocco, just to show you, Morocco is about 36 million. Their export last year was over $50 billion. They don't know spend on oil. In our own, with oil included, it's under 30 billion, and we're 200 million. Morocco didn't export any oil. What if the natural resources was small? It was mainly manufactured goods. Vehicle alone was almost 10 billion. In Morocco, Morocco runs the best seaport in Africa, doing twice the cargo tonnage of all Nigerian ports put together. Morocco. So I have to go there. Morocco is doing so well that today, Morocco issues Euro bond, at 2-3%. Nobody can, today in Nigeria, people are skeptical about buying Nigerian bond, even at 14-15%. So a differential of about 10 to 13%. Morocco. I had to go and see what they're doing. I drove from Rabat, the capital, to the port in 3.5 hours. No police, nothing. Straight road, got to the port. You wouldn't even know. You think there's nothing happening in the port. I was there. They viewed the people and everything. That's why I went there. To know what they're doing that we're not doing. You learn. went to Egypt. Egypt, Vietnam, India deploy the highest, fastest electricity in the past 5 years. And I said, let me start with Egypt. I'm going to go to the other ones. Egypt moved their power generation distribution from less than 20,000 in 2015 to today, 58,000. Those who are asking don't know what happened. That's what they did. You need to go and see what they were able to do. Today, Egypt's power requirement is 30,000 megawatts. Their generation and distribution is 58,000. I want to study who did the plant, who are the contractors, how did they get the funding. I've been able to ascertain, I visited the 2 plants, went to the company that built it, met with the CEOs, not the small people, the CEOs of the companies that are involved, went to the power holding company of Egypt, met the top people in government who are involved in this, talked a bit with the financiers in Egypt. I've also gone to Europe to meet the financiers. Rufai, what you see here is that people go into government and start giving excuses. What I saw when I came in, what we did, I want to see everything now, calculate the sources on which I'm going to solve it. So when I go there, I hit the ground running. That's what I did in Anambra State.
People are saying, have you
I'm talking to the stakeholders.
And what are they telling you about the power sector?
The same, based on what they told me is why I'm studying this. That's why I'm going to. I don't want to come there and they said, fine, I don't want to go there and start giving excuses. The job of a leader is not to give excuses, is to solve a problem. I don't want to be one of those who will be hired, and when I go there, I start reminding them of where they're coming from. When you're hired because the person there is not doing well. So your job is
after talking to the local people here, that's when you went to Egypt to look for solutions?
Completely.
And the local people here didn't provide any solutions?
No. They have you have to blend all these ideas. They've done their own and everything. Let me give you an issue of security. I was with the IG of police the other day. I asked him this, but I was asking him, because you must solve this thing. There's other people I'm going to talk to, Minister of Finance, Minister of Planning. You have to know all this before you get in there. Not when you go in there and say what you saw. You must see everything before you get there.
So I want to take you back to how you talk to the local people here. Yeah. Tell us why. Because in Egypt, they have the same agreement, don't they, with Siemens, as we have here, Siemens presidential initiative in 3 phases, upgrade of our transmission grids, discos, new power stations. It simply has not worked here thus far. Why?
Because we're not serious. Period. In this political way, let me tell you, in Egypt, to conceive a power plant from beginning to end, to say, we're going to, you are Rascom, you are Siemens, we're going to combine, you're going to build this power plant, all the things they need to do lasted 45 days. In Egypt, they put power, security of life and property, education, health, and power as a national security issue. Very simple, because they found out that one of the things that contributed to riots of 2011, 2012, when they did Arab Springs, was power. Small businesses did not have power, so they collapsed. And they contributed to that, and people were unemployed. And that was a problem. So they looked at the education, that children, people, education, all those issues were bundled, and they put it at national, and they're dealing with it decisively. So if you go to Egypt and see what they're doing in education, in health, in security, and everything, give you the issue of the power thing. If you go to the power holding company, on the wall of the CEO, chairman of power holding company, you see all the generations, all of it. Why will not be able to